Hello to all my beautiful kings and queens out there. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back. I am here with another video for you guys. It has been a while since I've been on the channel. Life has happened, motherhood has happened, and so here I am again trying back to be consistent, so I can share my messages and share my stories with everybody and have an impact. But aside from that, let's get to the topic that I have today. I felt called today to talk about suffering in silence. And as far as it pertains to me, is more so when I was a teenager. Not even just as a teenager, as a kid too, I suffered through a lot of trauma, and a lot of things were happening to me. And back then I didn't, I was a kid, I didn't understand. But now as an adult, I knew that I was going through a lot of shit. I was going through a lot of stuff. And I had no one safe to talk to about my issues, certain issues that I had certain people that were safety for me, but for some reason I didn't have anyone that I felt safe enough to express everything that I was going through, that I understood that I was going through. More so when I was a teenager, because when I was a kid, I didn't really understand that I was going through certain things or being put through certain things. But also being a kid, in my family were trained to, in my family that I was trained to fear voicing my opinion or fear voicing what's going on within me, because it didn't matter because I was a kid. And although very difficult, it was normal. And for some reason in our society, that is something normal. Actually, I think it's in our culture too, but I don't know everyone's culture, so I just know my own and how my family taught me and how I grew up. And in that, it was you're a kid, you don't know anything, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't have any responsibilities, you don't have any stress, so how could you be going through anything? How could anything be happening to you? You have this great life, so therefore you shouldn't be speaking, you shouldn't be saying anything, you should just be listening and obeying. And here I'm gonna make you scared to speak up for yourself or say anything, because I don't want you to disrespect me or come against what I'm saying to you, even if it's wrong. It's very convoluted and very complicated. It's very, very dumb way of thinking and raising a kid, but for some reason that just stuck for generations. The teaching it again, and teaching it again, and teaching it again, and teaching it again. And unfortunately, that was what was instilled in me, and that's what I learned. And when I became a teenager, well, not even a teenager, I would say around the age of 11 or 12 is really when my a lot of my depression started, and I started realizing that I wasn't okay. But I didn't know what it was because I was never taught, to recognize or to be self-aware of what's going on within you for mental health wise. So this is when I was around that age, I began to realize that I wasn't okay. And I began to realize I had so much that I wanted to talk about and so much that I wanted to get off my chest, but I had no one that I felt safe enough to express that to, that would not be judgmental to me. And so going through that, or having that feeling, of course it caused me to suppress a lot of my feelings and my emotions, and just suppress everything. And what that caused, of course, is, in situations where my emotions were activated or enacted or whatever, in whatever situation that it could have been a small situation. Even if it was a big situation, my pent up, suppressed emotions from other things that I wasn't able to get off my chest became a blow up and a blowout. And I took it there every time something happened because I didn't have an outlet. And because I didn't have a safe place to release all those things to, I was literally suffering and within, because I had no one to help guide me, or I had no one to, I had no one to help guide me and point me on the right path and tell me how to calm down or teach me how to breathe and relax and work on my mental health and express myself and stand up for myself. I didn't have that. I was always just taught, you don't have an opinion, you're a kid, your life is great, you have no contribution to anything, and that's it. So I just went along suffering in silence, and I was always told that I have an old soul, or like I'm a wise soul, or some things like that. I've always been told that. And so of course I realized things more quickly at a younger age. And so as I started to become a teenager and, still suffering in silence, I began to realize, like, this isn't okay. Like, what I'm going through is not normal. And like, that I truly need help, but I have no one to help me. Not anyone around me, including my mom. No one around me was able to be my safe place for me to express, or be a resource for me to, be a resource to help guide me to be better and learn new tactics and things to deal with all the suppressed emotions and things that I was experiencing and going through. I guess suppressed trauma, it would be, I think, suppressed emotions, suppressed trauma. I was going through everything. It was a lot of stuff I was going through. But as I got older, I just started to keep, especially being around more, like going to high school and being around kids more and stuff like, middle school and then high school and stuff like that, being around more kids and realizing, like, oh, like, your parents actually talk to you, or, oh, you can actually say, like, no, you don't want to do that, or you can actually express how you're feeling, and, you don't get whooped or slapped or beat because you expressed your emotion or how you felt, and it was different than what that parent or that older person, believed or wanted you to say or think or whatever. It was just a new concept for me, and I finally started to grasp that my home life just wasn't okay. And figuring that out made me even more angry, because I knew my situation was bad, but I had no way to fix it, and I didn't have the tools within myself to fix it. I just knew that I was suffering, and I knew that nothing was right, and so I just kept only doing what I knew, and what I knew was anger. What I knew was yell. What I knew was burst out and, burst out of emotion, burst out of your suppressed emotion, and just have blowouts every time that something happens that triggers your emotional side or state, or something happens to you. You just blow up and you get angry and you get mad, and that was it. That's pretty much what I was taught. And then also there was a fear side of it. So there was a fear, like, if something did happen to me and I wanted to speak up and I wanted to burst out and I wanted to say something to stand up for myself, I was too scared to do that, because I was not allowed to do that at home, because that's the parent, you're the child, or you're the elder and I'm the child. So I therefore don't have an opinion, and what I have to say doesn't matter because I'm a kid. It just doesn't make sense. So realizing that, it just became really tough. It became very tough for me. And in turn, like, I began to like realize that like I was truly suffering in silence because I had no outlet. But then I can't say this. It's hard because in that time I was following the Christian religion because that's all I knew and that's all I was taught. And so I still believe in God, so I would say that is God, but I also say is the divine, like my higher self definitely reaching out to me and speaking to me and giving me resources that I guess aren't conventional, but they help me, and they they really did come through for me, even though I didn't understand that aspect until now. Looking back at it, I understand now what it is, but then I didn't. So back then, when I was, still a teenager and still understanding and trying to get through stuff, I began to pray every day for what I wanted, and I began to pray for like a person to come and rescue me, or a person to come and help me and guide me. I prayed for that all the time. I prayed, this might be stupid, but I prayed for a partner. Like, I wanted to get, for some reason, I wanted to get married young. I wanted to have my soulmate, and I wanted that person to just be with me until the end of time, from high school and on, which is a crazy idea. But for me as a teenager, that's what was gonna save me. And so I just prayed all the time, cried, and I also began to write. I would just write and write and write. I would, it's kind of crazy thinking about it now, but I would write things that I thought, oh, maybe I'll turn into a book. And I would write things that were songs. You just do random things when you're a kid. And think about it now, like, I wish I would have, gone more into those creative sides of me, but I ended up just letting them go and just moving on from that. But I would write songs, I would write poetry, I would write books. I would just write how I'm feeling and write what I'm going through, and it would always help. And of course, with writing thing, there's always physical evidence of what you're writing and what you're saying and stuff. And that, unfortunately, my mother was very invasive, and there was no privacy. They don't believe in kids having privacy. So she would find stuff and read certain things and be like, confront me about it and want to know everything that's going on. You can tell me, you need to tell me. She would beat me into telling her what I was going through, which made me close off even more, because like, how are you going to sit here and discipline me for not expressing something to you that I'm going through? I already don't feel safe telling you it, which is why you don't know, which is why it's written on paper. But here you are beating me and yelling at me and screaming at me to tell you what's wrong with me. It's crazy, but that's what I experienced. And I think that my mom just learned that from her mom. And so, or it's kind of a divot, but I think it's some kind of twisted way of her using the same methods as her mom, but also trying to care at the same time. It's very convoluted and very complicated. And if you've seen my past videos, you know that my relationship with my mom is very convoluted, very complicated, as well as her relationship with her mother is very, very complicated and not healthy. But so experiencing that and her confronting me and her finding those things, that eliminated that outlet for me, because I have physical proof. People probably say you could throw it away, or you could, but this woman would go through the trash, she would do anything, and I didn't have access to like burn things or whatever like that, or so. And I don't even think that was something that was on my mind. But once she found out and she found him, I had to stop writing. I had to stop expressing and releasing everything within me onto paper. And so that turned to, more suppression, and not let people know how I feel or what I'm going through. And it just really began to eat at me. I was still praying and still asking for a resource, still asking for a partner, still asking for someone to just show me the light of day. And, I ended up finding that. I found my partner in high school, but then I also found, I don't even remember how I found this program, but I found the program, and my intention in the program was only to make money, because I had gotten abandoned, and I was on my own. I think I was 17. I was on my own, and I needed to make money. I had to support myself. And so it was a program centered around teenagers and youth and developing them. And it was something I worked around my school hours. So that job was just like heaven sent. Point given. I kept praying, and it finally came through for me. But I got the job, and it connected me with the program, and I began to tutor kids, and after school program. Super cool, super impactful. I really enjoyed working with the kids. I really enjoyed watching them and stuff like that. Of course, there's, issues and things that happen. But while I was working there, it was giving me a fulfillment of, something that I enjoyed. I love working with kids. I love having an impact on kids. It was an activity, or a job, shall I say, that was really impactful to me, because it was doing something that I actually loved and that I connected with, and it was impacting kids, which is, I'm very big on. And so, but in that program, there was another program that I wasn't a part of, and the lady that was my boss, she, I was going through a lot of things, and I was only there to work. And of course, I still got my fulfillment from helping the kids and dealing with the kids. But outside of that, I was just there to work and go home and, try to figure out how to take care of myself. I wasn't focused on anything else. But the lady that was my boss, she put me into this other program that was within that program that I wasn't a part of. And she just made me do it. And I was so mad. I was so mad at her for doing that to me, but she ended up doing it. She ended up forcing me to do it. And she pretty much said, if you don't do it, I'm going to take your pay away. And I'm like, okay, no, you can't do that. So I just have to do it. And it was called leadership. And oh my gosh, if that wasn't sent to me at the right time, I wish that I had it earlier, but everybody says God's timing is at the right time. So it definitely hit me at a time where I needed it most. And I was very apprehensive to it at first. I was very opposed to it. I think it's because I was forced to do it rather than just, it told the idea behind it. I feel like if I was told the idea behind it and, she talked to me about it first, I would have agreed to do it. Regardless, I was apprehensive to it, but the lady was super nice, super sweet, and just so impactful with her words, and sharing so many messages and giving me new insights and giving me great advice. And it was just everything that I was looking for and that I needed and that I was praying for. And I didn't realize it then that that was such a divine connection of what I was looking for and what I needed, especially because I was on my own and abandoned and by myself, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to survive. And so that program coming through for me definitely helped and gave me a resource, and I'm truly grateful for that, because it didn't solve all my problems. It didn't help everything go away, but it definitely gave me new insight, new ways to look at things. It definitely gave me more drive and motivation to do things differently and become more independent and handle my emotions and broaden my perspective of things and dealing with other people, and healing from the trust issues that I have with other people because so many people betrayed me. And there was just, I can go on and on about the lessons. Fast forward to today, that lady is still my mentor, and she's been there for me through so much. And she's just an amazing person, an amazing lady. I can have a whole video and a whole talk about her because she's just that amazing. And she was truly heaven sent to me, I feel like. But it definitely was that turning point of me suffering in silence. I now found a person that I felt safe enough to express everything that I was going through and that was happening with me, and that was able to give me advice on how to navigate it, how to deal with it, telling me which emotions I'm allowed to feel, and the next steps that I should take. It was everything that I needed. And so, like, just the message that I want to share is just like, although many people suffer in silence, so many people suffer in silence, and it's truly hard, and it can seem like, you're the only one and there's nobody else that's going through that, or there's no way that you're going to be saved, or there's no way that anything's going to work out for you. I just give you the advice of keep praying if you believe in that. Praying or meditation, any form of just talking with the divine, talking with your higher self, just connecting with source energy, it will help you tremendously. And also writing, singing, dancing, those things are outlets all the way, that can definitely help. It won't get everything out, but I definitely think that it's something that will stir up everything that's going on within and help you to release the tension and release some things that start to get pent up and that have been suppressed, and just allow you to release in a certain way. I'm still learning things about like releasing as far as like dancing and music and things like that, but for the most part I definitely do believe that they help. And the last thing is just finding resources, like the things that you might not even think that would be there to help you could be the thing that's there to help you. And so just be open and receptive to things, definitely use your intuition in certain things, because there are a lot of conniving people out here nowadays trying to scam people and get them to do things, and just there's a lot of people out here trying to scam people. So always be careful and always use your intuition, but definitely reach out for resources, reach out for things that can impact your life in a positive way. And I can't guarantee, but I'm pretty sure that there will be something there that can lead you on a different path and give you new perspectives and new insights and just help you learn new things, and that can transform your situation and allow you to break free of your silence. And it may not get rid of all the suffering, because sometimes there's just so much to unpack and there's just so much that you're going through, but it will have an impact on you that will change the course of you going down a path of feeling like you're on your own and you're suffering in full complete silence because you have no one else that feels safe enough for you to express everything or get everything off your chest. Every day that you keep suffering and keep suffering is definitely hard, super heartbreaking, and it doesn't get easier. But just know that if you keep praying and you keep working toward just having hope that things will be better for yourself, and just working towards making things better for yourself, everything can get better for you. And just taking the time to try to shift your perspective and try to look at it from, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this situation? So that, you know, when you do move on and you grow and you get out of that, you have so many lessons and things that you have learned out of those bad moments, that, you know, you can either show it to somebody else. You can be that light for someone. You can be that light for your kid if you have a child, or you can share your story with other people like I am. And so I definitely encourage you to stay motivated, keep pushing on, keep, you know, keep your faith that everything will work out. Keep your hope and your faith, and just believe and trust in the divine or source or God, whatever you believe in, that everything is going to work out for you and be better. The message I have for you guys for today, I will definitely be back with more messages. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, I hope you subscribe, leave a comment respectfully, and like the video. It was good to be back on here to share a message with you guys. All right, have a good day.